Alright, coming out of spawn right here, this area where I'm walking is known as your spawn. Usually when the enemy team already push up to your goal, it's a little bit too late, but nevertheless, this right here is your spawn. And right next to it, there's a fan right in front of me, and their spawns to my left or in front. And this area right here where my cursor is at is known as your spawn fan. You can put the two together. And coming up here, normally there's a lot of snipers, and it's a good place to come out of your spawn when you get a full wipe. This is called the snipe. Always be wary of the snipe when pushing this far. Walking back to the spawn to my left right here is known as the express. You take the express up here if you sometimes want to sneak around and flank and whatnot. But taking the express right here where I'm standing is known as the nest. This area right here is known as the nest. And me walking up here is called the piston. It looks like the express, but they didn't want to call it the same thing, so we call this area the piston. So coming up this ramp right here, we have this area called the island. It usually don't get used that much, so they call it the island because it's kind of isolated. So as you can see right over here, this is called the office. You can see some computers and desks, so they call this the office. And coming up to the left right here is called the window. There's a pillar to my right and half of a pillar to the left, so they call it the window. Kind of makes sense. So right here coming out is the window next to the office. So coming up out of the office, you see what is called the ramp. What I'm pointing at is called the ramp. And right next to the ramp is the plat. Right here you usually stand around shooting at mid. So right here is called the plat, next to the ramp. And right next to the plat, this is the video game section known as the arcade. And this area right here is the arcade. And below it, next to it, is called the court. This area right here is our court next to the arcade. And walking over here, we have our fan. It is called fan because there's a fan right there, so they just call it fan. And right next to the fan, we have the perch. I know it looks like a ramp, but we already have something called ramp, and we didn't want two things, so we call this the perch. And the final thing that everyone probably already knows is called mid. Right here, the big opening in the middle of the map. It is called mid. And I just gave you guys the location of your area. As you know, the maps are symmetrical, so the same thing is applied to the other side, but all you will say is their perch, their ramp, their fan, their snipe, their office, their window, and so forth and so on. So I hope this video helped you guys. I hope you'll watch it, learn these positions, and further improve your gameplay. So I'm going to make more videos like this to give the area of what they're called, so stay tuned. And thanks for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one.